Startling evidence tonight that former armed Mexican military personnel are crossing the border with the United States into this country while working for Mexican drug smugglers. At the same time, the war between the Mexican military and those drug cartels is escalating just south of the border. Casey Wine now reports on the vicious battles raging along our border with Mexico.
Another wave of deadly shootouts involving Mexican federal troops and alleged drug cartel members just across the Texas-Mexico border. Wednesday in the town of Reynosa, 2 Mexican federal soldiers were killed, the latest victims of President Felipe Calderon's war on drug traffickers.
Shots were heard. They started over there by the corner and ends up here. And later we heard bazookas or grenades or something.
Tuesday in nearby Rio Bravo, Mexican troops killed 3 suspected drug cartel members and apprehended 10 others.
Our obligation as the authority of order within the government is to persevere in the fight against organized crime until we take complete control over public life in the country.
2 of the captured suspects are residents of Detroit, and another is from Texas. It's another reminder that Mexican drug cartels have spread far into the United States. Also this week, more evidence of possible links between those cartels and some Mexican troops and law enforcement. The conservative group Judicial Watch released documents it obtained from the Department of Homeland Security revealing 253 Mexican military and law enforcement incursions across the U.S. border from 1996 through 2006. Many of those incidents involved armed, uniformed personnel assisting drug and alien smugglers.
There never seems to be a really very strong sort of, hey, cut it out. You know, this is, you're crossing our border, armed, deliberately. It just seems like it's treated as sort of a diplomatic affair where, you know, perhaps the words or notes of protest are exchanged, but that's about it.
Yet violence between drug smugglers and Mexican troops and police continues all along our nation's southern border. In a statement, the Department of Homeland Security says, irrespective of the circumstance, every incursion is taken seriously and appropriately resolved. At the local level, U.S. Customs and Border Protection leadership maintains open dialogue with Mexican government officials to resolve and implement measures to prevent accidental incursions. Lou?
Whatever in the world that meant. Thank you very much, Department of Homeland Security, as usual, for straightforwardness and honesty and a vigorous response to an affront against this nation's sovereignty. Michael Chertoff, at what point could there be a proceeding against him? He has become an absolute embarrassment to this country.
I'm not sure how to answer that, Lou. I don't know what kind of a proceeding you mean.
The proceeding I would mean would be would remove him from office, but I suppose that if we got that started, the entire administration would unravel in a matter of time. Thank you very much, Casey Wine. I appreciate it. This is an outrage, and the fact that this administration is not speaking directly to it with considerable conviction is embarrassment enough for all of us. Thank you, Casey Wine. Well, up next, Mayor Bloomberg